to publish is to make content available to the general public. While specific use of the term may vary among countries, it is usually applied to text, images, or other audio-visual content on any traditional medium, including paper. The word publication means the act of publishing, and also refers to any printed copies. Legal definition and copyright. Publication is a technical term in legal contexts and especially important in copyright legislation. An author of a work generally is the initial owner of the copyright on the work. One of the copyrights granted to the author of a work is the exclusive right to publish the work. In the United States, publication is defined as the distribution of copies or phone records of a work to the public by sale or other transfer of ownership, or by rental, lease, or lending. The offering to distribute copies or phone records to a group of persons for purposes of further distribution, public performance, or public display, constitutes publication. A public performance or display of a work does not of itself constitute publication. To perform or display a work publicly means 1. To perform or display it at a place open to the public or at any place where a substantial number of persons outside of a normal circle of a family and its social acquaintances is gathered. Or, 2. To transmit or otherwise communicate a performance or display of a work to a place specified by clause or to the public, by means of any device or process, whether the members of the public capable of receiving the performance or display receive it in the same place or in separate places and at the same time or at different times. A 17 U.S.C. 101. Furthermore, the right to publish a work is an exclusive right of the copyright owner, and violating this right is a copyright infringement, and the copyright owner can demand that, for example, copies distributed against his will be confiscated and destroyed. The definition of publication as distribution of copies to the general public with the consent of the author is also supported by the Berne Convention, which makes mention of copies in Article 3.3, where published works are defined. In the Universal Copyright Convention, publication is defined in Article 6 as the reproduction in tangible form and the general distribution to the public of copies of a work from which it can be read or otherwise visually perceived. Many countries around the world follow this definition, although some make some exceptions for particular kinds of works. In Germany, Section 6 of the Urheberrechtsgesetz additionally considers works of the visual arts published if they have been made permanently accessible by the general public. Australia and the UK do not have this exception and generally require the distribution of copies necessary for publication. In the case of sculptures, the copies must be even three-dimensional. Biological classification. In biological classification, the publication of the description of a taxon has to comply with some rules. The definition of the publication is defined in nomenclature codes. Traditionally there were the following rules: the publication must be generally available. The date of publication is the date the published material became generally available. Electronic publication with some restrictions is permitted for publication of scientific names of fungi since January 1, 2013. See also, copyright, electronic publishing, publication cycle, publishing, references. External links. Rayming Chang, publication does not really mean publication, the need to amend the definition of publication in the Copyright Act, 33 AM. Intel. Prop LSM QJ. 225, this article analyzes the definition of publication in the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976 and finds strong support for the proposition that electronic dissemination of works does not result in publication under American copyright law. This article argues that the definition of publication needs to be amended to explicitly include electronic dissemination.